Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. One of the founders of Ripple, as in Ripple the company. I'm not conflating Ripple and XRP, don't worry. Moon Lambo, don't do that, you know how I roll. One of the founders of Ripple has been completely banned from claiming his free Spark tokens from Flair Networks. And also questions were raised about David Schwartz, because, and I assume most people to this point are unaware, David Schwartz actually did put a note on his account to claim free Spark tokens, and this led to questions because of some of the text that Flair Networks put out about individuals that are allowed to claim Spark tokens. Now, I'm not going to explain everything about Flair Network and Spark tokens in this particular video. I know there's always new people coming on board, and so if you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, you're just going to have to find one of my previous videos or use the Webernets to search for what's going on. But I will say this. If you are an XRP holder, you are entitled to receive free Spark tokens. You'll get a minimum, if you choose to accept them, a minimum of 1 Spark token for every XRP that you own. And it's because there's a utility fork of the XRP ledger, which is about to take place. So just be aware of that, research it if it's something you're interested in, go for it. I certainly have every intention of claiming my free Spark tokens here because I suspect they'll be worth something in the future. And I found out today, David Schwartz thinks they're going to be worth something too. So there's so much to talk about in this video. But before we go any further, if you would please ever so delicately tap that like button, I would definitely appreciate the support, because if you do, it will tell the YouTube algorithm to suggest this content to other people that will perhaps be interested in viewing it. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. Don't cost nothing, damn it, take my free content. And so there was an article written about this, at least one. The first one I saw was from CryptoComes.com. I'm not really going to run through the article. Instead, I just pulled up the actual Twitter thread, which is where I first saw this anyway. And check this out. This is interesting stuff here, because I had been wondering about this myself. So there's an individual named Brother in Arms right here on the Twitters who wrote... at Joel Katz, which is David Schwartz, who of course is Ripple's CTO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, wrote, "David, serious question about the Flair snapshot." And by the way, what they're talking about there, I think most people to this point know, but there's going to be a snapshot of the state of the XRP ledger taken on December 12th of this year. And whatever XRP is held in whatever accounts, that's how they're going to determine how much how many free Spark tokens are allocated to any individual that is eligible to receive them. All right, so question about the Flair snapshot. Ripple employees and certain ex-employees are not eligible, yet I saw your Joel Katz wallet was activated for the snapshot. Can you clear this up? Smart XRP hodlers are suspicious about redeeming. And I actually found out that David Schwartz had claimed this about a week ago through a direct message group that I'm in on the Twitters here. And I didn't mention anything about it because there wasn't anything additional to state, but there was a snapshot taken of his actual XRP wallet, which had a lot of XRP in it. And you could see that it was, he'd put the tag on there that, hey, I'm ready to receive my Spark tokens. And so I just thought, well, I thought about, should I mention the video? I was like, no, there's nothing else to say about it. I'm not even going to bother. But now David Schwartz talked about it, so I'm like, okay, and it gets even more interesting beyond that. But the next tweet does come from David Schwartz. Actually, no, I need to read this first. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get ahead of myself. I'm getting all excited here. So there's a screen grab taken by Brother in Arms here. And this comes from Flair Networks themselves. And I'm only going to read the part that's highlighted here because this is the relevant portion right here. And this, again, comes from Flair Networks, which will be issuing the Spark tokens for free to XRP holders. And they reference the snapshot, and then they state, second, from this snapshot, known addresses belonging to Ripple Labs, certain previous employees of Ripple Labs, and any exchanges that have not confirmed their support to Flair will be removed. And so I will admit, when I quickly read that the first time, however many weeks ago, from Flair Networks, and I believe I covered it in a video too, I guess I just read it so quickly without fully processing it that I assumed that meant that active Ripple employees were not eligible, but that's just because I think I read it too fast, and you'll see why. So David Schwartz responded and wrote the following. Here's the tweet. I assumed I was eligible for the drop because I'm neither Ripple Labs nor a previous employee of Ripple Labs. But I don't know. I had a lot of reasons for registering, no one reason significantly stronger than the others. Show support, show it was safe, sell my tokens ASAP, $4. So, yeah, so let's unpack that a little bit here. And so I don't know if this was an oversight from Flair Networks or not, because it does, once I reread this, after I read that from David Schwartz, I was like, oh yeah, it does say it like that. It says, Ripple Labs is in Ripple the company, cannot claim Spark tokens, and certain previous Ripple Labs, or just Ripple, because the company, their DBA is Ripple. I guess I should explain what that means. So the company was originally OpenCoin, then they were renamed Ripple Labs, and then they were renamed Ripple, but they weren't really renamed Ripple. They're still technically, the entity is called Ripple Labs, and they got a DBA, which is a doing business as, which is something that I'm familiar with because I own a company and I did the same thing. I'm pretty sure it was a DBA for them anyway. I don't know if there's some sort of other way to go about it, but they can go, they registered with the required entities on a government level to call themselves straight up Ripple instead of just Ripple Labs without actually renaming their company. So technically they're still Ripple Labs, but everybody just knows them as Ripple. And so again, this states here that there are just going to be certain previous employees that would not be eligible. It didn't even say all of them wouldn't be eligible, but it says nowhere in there that existing Ripple employees cannot qualify for this. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, well, fair enough. So again, I don't know if that was an oversight from Flair Networks or if that was the intention that employees at Ripple would be able to be eligible, which I would hope would be the case because, pretty much all of the employees at Ripple, it's not like they were just handed XRP for no damn reason. If they own XRP, they in all likelihood just bought it on the open market like the rest of us, right? And so to me, it would be kind of silly to outright ban them. And in the case of David Schwartz, he was never given any XRP for free. He actually did purchase it on the open market there. And so to me, it would make sense that he should be able to get the free Spark tokens as well. Now, Flair actually did respond. This is the official Flair account, Flair at Flair Networks, and wrote in response to David Schwartz. David, we are so honored that you are claiming your Spark tokens. And by the way, I don't even want to gloss over this either. I'm sorry I'm going back a little bit here, but this is necessary. I don't want to gloss over this. One of the primary reasons that he wanted to claim the Spark tokens, and he was blunt about it, in that tweet he states this so that he can sell them for $. Now, right now, as I record this, Spark tokens are worth $0. They haven't even been distributed, obviously, and so they're not traded on exchange. But if they do ultimately end up being traded on exchange, which to me just seems inevitable, I'd be shocked if they weren't. Because why would exchanges not want to make money on the buying and selling of the Spark tokens, especially considering they don't even get to receive any Spark tokens themselves, right? Why would they not want to make money on the buying and selling? I'd just be shocked if this didn't happen, right? And so anyway, I don't know what it's going to be worth ultimately, but to all of us that get the free Spark tokens, you know what humans do when they start speculating. So to me, that's exciting, makes it worthwhile as long as it's safe. And again, never give out your private key. When you're going to claim your Spark tokens, if you choose to, you will never have to give your private key out. You won't have to type it into a website. You won't have to speak to anybody. Do not give anyone your private key under any circumstance. It's not required to claim your Spark tokens. If you give your private key out or type it in a website, you're going to lose all of your XRP in that account because it's a scam if you encounter such a thing. So anyway, Flair Networks wrote, David, we are so honored that you are claiming your Spark tokens. All current and almost all past Ripple employees can claim Spark with the XRP that they hold personally. We are excluding Jed's XRP from the distribution. Now, of course, most of you will be aware, but for those new to the XRP community, you may not. And there's a ton of new people coming in lately, which is why I think it's worthwhile for me to make sure we're setting the table a little bit here. Jed McCaleb is the individual. He's literally a genius. He's the one that came up with the concept of a better Bitcoin, which became XRP. He's the one, and he's the one that hired David Schwartz back in the day before Ripple was even a company. He got David Schwartz on board, and then they worked together with Arthur Brito, and they created XRP. There was a falling out, though, in the very early days. I don't know if it was like a year and a half, something like that, after Ripple was formed. Jed McCaleb ended up leaving the company, but he also had already been gifted a bunch of XRP, and since then he's been selling it as much as he can in any given time period per a legal agreement. So people like say he's dumping on the market. It's nowhere near enough to suppress prices, but that's the narrative you get from Bitcoin maxi trolls. But anyway, nonetheless, it's pretty clear that he doesn't have the interests of the XRP ecosystem at heart. In fact, he started XLM, which many view as a competitor to XRP, even though to me it's like they're not being positioned for the same use case. But whatever, people view it like that because the competitor Stellar, XLM for short, is it's a clone of XRP that's been modified. It is. You know, if you want to call it a fork or a clone, you tell me what the proper term is. That's what it is, though. And so he has no interest in a healthy XRP ecosystem, and he's made that quite clear. Now, with Spark here, with Flair Network Spark tokens, these are designed to complement the XRP ecosystem. And so if Jed McCaleb were given a bunch of Spark, what do you think he would do? He's already selling all the XRP he can. He'd just get free money again via the Spark tokens, and he'd sell that too. And that would not be good for a healthy. It wouldn't help to promote a healthy ecosystem. And so, if somebody clearly is not aligned with the goal of any developer or the community at large participating within the XRP community, does it make sense to give them Spark tokens? To me, the answer is clearly no. And even if it wouldn't be enough for him to be able to dump on the market and suppress price once there's an open market price of Spark, that kind of misses the point. The point is that he does not have the interests of the community or developers in mind. And he's not going to care whatsoever. So to me, it seems obvious. Flair Networks then wrote, we took the decision to exclude Jed as the consistent sales of XRP having a negative effect on the psychology of the market make it clear he is not an XRP supporter. Exactly, right there. And it's not that in any sort of material or calculatable way. That's the right word, right? Calculable. It's one of those. Anyway, maybe it's calculable. Anyway, you got the cut of my jib, damn it. The point is, it's not enough. His selling is not enough to suppress the price of XRP in any sort of measurable way, but even so, it's definitely affecting the psychology of individuals out there. Some in the XRP community, but I think most in the community kind of get that it's not really actually having an impact. It's more so providing ammo to Bitcoin maxi trolls out there who just want to make XRP out to be the devil, right? That's basically what they're doing. And so anything we could do to prevent a further narrative along that lines, all on board, right? And then they write, Spark attributable to his XRP holdings are being distributed equally to all other valid claimants. And so there you go. Because there's going to be a maximum of 45 billion Spark tokens, and we know that if certain Spark tokens are not claimed, then you could end up getting more Spark tokens than the 1-to-1 ratio that is basically promised. What if you could get 1.5 for every 1 XRP that you own? I don't know what the number is going to be. We'll see. But for those that aren't claimed, it looks like it could go that way. In fact, it looks likely it will go that way. And then Flair Networks also wrote, we do not know Jed beyond one call, so I guess one phone call, and have absolutely no animosity toward him or Stellar. Flair is intended to bring utility to the XRP ledger. We reserve the right to structure the initiation of the network in the way we think necessary to achieve that objective. And so I'm all on board for this. This makes perfect sense to me. And the vast majority of people agreed, but there was one dissenting view, and I love diversity of thought, so I thought I'd highlight this. There's an individual named Marvin Redwood, and again, I love diversity of thought, so nothing against the guy. I think it's fun to have a little bit of back and forth and consider opposing views. So here's what he wrote on the topic, and I don't agree with him, but I just want to share it. He wrote, it's kind of despicable you yield the power on who and who can't claim your tokens. This is not decentralized and is discriminatory. Personally, if I was a current or ex-Ripple employee, you'd find yourselves in court. Well, look, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know that there can be any sort of legal claims made. If there are, then let me know. I'd be kind of surprised here because there's individual creating assets that they own completely outright until they distribute, and they can distribute to anyone and anyone they want, however they want. And that's the thing about when you create a new cryptocurrency, which is what's happening here. You're the one that designs the tokenomics. You decide the distribution model, and if people don't like it, they don't have to participate. But if you're the one that creating the distribution model, absolutely you deserve to have say in who and who can't receive it, especially if you believe that certain people that would like to receive it for free would not be to the benefit of your the new ecosystem of your cryptocurrency here. And so I couldn't disagree more with Marvin here, but still it's fun to have a little back and forth on this here. And so, it says it all in the first sentence. It's despicable you yield the power on who and who can't claim your token. So wait a minute, they own it, and you're telling me that they can't decide who to give it to? Now, that seems really backwards to me. No, I'm sorry, I'm not on board with that. No, I think that anything that I legally own, whether I create it or not, I should be able to give it to whoever I want. To me, this is a non sequitur. It's just not rational whatsoever, this point of view. But again, like I said, I do love back and forth, and maybe some of you will think he has a compelling case. I don't think it's compelling at all. That's just my humble opinion, and I say that respectfully, of course, here. And as far as the decentralization aspect, I would certainly anticipate that the network will continue to become increasingly decentralized. I believe that's a goal of theirs. But when you're talking about ownership of the cryptocurrency, that's not talking about decentralization or centralization. You're talking about concentration of cryptocurrency right there. As far as the tokenomics and dispersing it, okay, fine, but once they're into the ecosystem, that's when it really all starts. Because the creators of XRP, it was certainly arguable, and I believe true, that XRP was substantially less decentralized before launch and shortly after it was launched. But it's sufficiently decentralized today, the whole XRP ledger, right? But you need to have that evolution occur with the Spark tokens as well. That's my opinion on it anyway. So no. So even if there's a case to be made about it's not sufficiently decentralized, I'd be willing to hear that out too. I'm just saying, don't judge it before it's been launched. To give the ecosystem time to kind of build out. That's my point of view. Anyway, that's it for this video, though. Thank you for stopping by, my friends. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!